Hello everybody. Today I'm going to make a how-to video on how to take this Skorne series actual Gladiator Titan. I got one here that's started being painted, not complete yet. If you look here on the back, I'll bring it up to the camera, you'll see that there's a hole here, and then below it there's a little notch, and that's actually for the standard to be put in. And these, as you can see, are very thin and long. So if you glue these on here and during transport, there's a very good chance that these could get crushed by the Titans, at least these metal ones. They just came out with plastic sculpts, so I don't think it's going to be an issue with the plastic. But you can see these metal ones they're hefty. So this is not really a system I came up with. I was kind of told by the guy that does the portable warfare bags on how to do this. So I'm trying this out. But what you're going to need is you're going to need magnets. I'm doing these with magnets that are 3/16 by 132, I believe. Here, and these are actually thicker than I really would have liked. It's what I have. This is the smallest thing I have other than 1/16, which are just too small. I already tried them out, and they're too weak of a connection to hold the standard up. So went to these bigger ones, and these should work. He suggested using the 1/8 size, and I don't have any, but I will correct that issue. I had just bought some online actually about 2 hours ago, but let's move on now. In the other image you're gonna see here shortly, I put the hole because the magnet is so big. And I'm sorry that the glare is pretty killer on here, but as you can see here, if I was to put it here, I'd butcher the whole entire little back plate here. So I'm putting it here where it will fit, which I'm hoping you can make that out. On my camera it doesn't look like it because I'm just seeing way too much shine. Shielded some. Shit, that's not gonna work. But yeah, here we go. Close enough. You can see it will fit. So I'm doing it there. Ideally, you want to stick it in that lower hole and put your pin here in the upper part. But we're going to find out if it's going to work well or not. So you're not only going to need magnets, you're going to need a drill bit of the correct size. I don't have one without this little chuck piece here to put into my hand drill, so I have to do this by hand, which takes a little bit of time. For that particular size, I just need to go off to the hardware store and go buy, so I can fit one in here. I have found that if you use a smaller bit first, it does make using a larger bit, especially by hand like that, a whole lot easier. You're going to need a skin scraper or a nail to get your first initial hole. Now if you're doing it down here where the groove is, you probably really don't need to preset the hole, but it probably wouldn't hurt. But if you're doing up here, I would suggest doing it, even though there's that little divot, just to make sure, just make it a little bit deeper, just to make sure that the bit gets a good hold of it. Now, as you can see here, I've already glued and green stuffed the inside parts of this miniature together. For drilling purposes, I wouldn't go any further than this step. I mean, you could if you want to assemble the whole entire miniature, but I think ideally this would be the best, is to just get the miniature to this part and no further at this time. So I can't show you how to do this on hand, it would just take way too long. And you could go out and if you had a Dremel or a power drill, you could do that too, but you'd have to be really careful. But here's the other half of them, and this head. And you pretty much need green stuff to assemble this miniature. If you haven't done these before, you can see there's lots of gaps from the body to the thing. So let's say you go ahead and you put your drill bit holes in, like I just explained. Try to shield. Here you'll probably see it kind of looks a little odd, and that's because I actually have drilled there, and it's a big indentation inside the back plate, and then just below it is is still a groove. I haven't put a hole in yet for my pin. But basically you're going to just put a hole in here for the pin. And once you've done the hole for the actual magnet, where the magnet can be placed, then you're free to add the green stuff. As you can see, here's some green stuff here, green stuff right there underneath his chin, around his neck, there's green stuff, along the back, some green stuff. You just have to have some green stuff in order to assemble these bad boys. Some green stuff here between the arm and the back plate. It's unfortunate, but it's how it is. So when I come back, we'll have that done. But before I go away, where did I put it? Here it goes. I have the bottom of the base for the flag. I got two holes. I got one hole here, and I got one hole here. This was because I was originally going to try to put the originally in the back. I actually had to put the 1/16 on the top spot, but like I said, it was too small, so I had to switch things around. So I could no longer put the pin here. I'm going to try it here and see how it works out. So I already got the hole here drilled. But otherwise, there's a little tab on this particular side or design of the standard. As you can see here, it's this one's kind of nice. It's got a little tab that goes into that notch, and I just kind of clipped it down and filed a little bit, and then put my hole in. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to just glue scratch it up looking, I can't remember what they call it, and then just glue my magnet onto place there. Now if you want to cover, if you decide to do it on the bottom, now if you look here, this is the actual, for some reason all the other standards come on, focus. I know I just moved along quickly. Yeah, here we go. They come with these, which is different than the other one. Doesn't have as much stuff here. So what you can do to make it look nicer, especially if you put the magnet on the bottom, which is the ideal place, is I don't know how we're going to be able to see this, I took a little chunk of extra green stuff I had laying around when I was doing the other miniature, and what I ended up doing was I took the miniature and I pressed this down over one of the things. So what I'm going to do, once I get the other ones, I'm going to assemble the other, and that's when you'll see the rest of this video finished. Oh, actually, you'll see the rest of the video finished with the one I'm already working on. So what I'm going to do is basically encompass that in so that the little back cap thing will be on the end of this here. Kind of has a little cover on to it. And what this is going to let you do, if you haven't already figured it out, is this is going to allow you to have your miniature with the flag on when you play with them or display them, whichever, and then you can pull it out and transport them. So I come back, I'll hopefully have it all done, and you can see the end result. Alright, so I got the magnet on the back. As you can see, it stands out a little bit. Just because of how thick this was, I'd end up going through the whole model. So I'll have to disguise that as like a black wooden plate, you know, that might have a white cloth over it or something that you can't really see. So that's pretty much what I'll have to do with that. So I haven't drilled the hole and the notch by this finger here. Wish there was a better way to show it, though I have. But where did I put that stupid? So here's the banner, and here it is attached to the pole. All facets there. Now I found the super glue wasn't strong enough to sit and keep the magnet on even after scoring, so I removed the super glue and rescored it, and you might be able to see that there's a little bit of blackness, especially on this side here. You might be able to see it. It's a little bit of blackness, kind of oozed out a little bit, and that's actually JB Weld quick set that sits in it says 4 minutes. I hold it for like a minute, and then I try to set it like this to where it naturally will just grab it and hold it in place. Because it gets tacky, you got 4 to 5 minutes from the time you actually mix it together, so you got to kind of work with it kind of quick. And then I left this sit for 24 hours. And the magnet, as you can see, is actually strong enough to hold the banner in place. But when you're moving it around and stuff, it will eventually slide. So that's why we have the pin that needs to go in, so it won't move, it'll just stay in place. And it's, you gotta put some good effort in there to pull this off. So I'm really sorry about the glare. There's nothing I can do personally. I'm using what would be used for a shadow box to try to cut it down, but hopefully you can see this. There's a space in between, and there's nothing I'm going to be able to do with how thick these magnets are about that space being there. But I'm just going to run a pin from here to here. So you don't want to, you can drill out your pinhole here, but don't drill it out here yet. Or in the back of the, oops, I'm out of frame, the back of the miniature. What I'm going to do, rather than remove this, is I'm going to put, oh, you really can't see that divot, there we go. I'm going to put blue tack in that divot, and then put the flag in place, and I'm going to put a small pin in there that I'm going to hold in with my fingers until I get a snap in here. and that should get, actually I could just put a little small dab of super glue in there, just enough to where it will hold and I can break it out. And what I want to do is I want to get the pin to go into the blue tack, and then when I pull it out straight, it will leave a hole where the pin needs to go, and then I'll stick my drill right in without removing the blue tack and start drilling out. Yeah, you lose a little bit of blue tack, but really the stuff is dirt cheap and you get a ton of it, and it takes forever to go through it, so don't cry over spilt milk, you know? So I'll be back when I have that done, and that will be a finished product. Like I said, ideally I probably should have the magnet where the divot is and the pin where the plate is, but for the size of the magnets that I have available, I had to do it in the back plate, and I have to put the pin down in the divot. Other than that, like I said, I have magnets coming, so when we come back, it should be done. Alright everybody, there we go, finished project. I changed my mind, and I actually took a long paper clip and bent it so it wouldn't fall down. Then I weaved it in and put that in it and then glued it into place. I actually put the glue in and then put it in and then pushed it where I wanted, kind of. And then I just left the hole at the bottom. So instead of leaving the pin here where it can scratch off the paint, I figured it better to just stick it on the part of the flagpole where you're not really going to be able to see if it does scratch off any paint. So I decided to do that instead, and I think it works out good. And as you can see, the standard really won't move too much. I made the hole a little bit bigger than what was needed, but that's fine. Now he's going to march down the battlefield, and he's going to have a standard on his back, and he's going to look good. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful, or gave you an idea of how to do something for another one of your miniatures. Alright, have a good day everybody. Happy wargaming.